Hello, it's Walter and Ginger, though she's in the house. Um, First thing we want to do is give a shout out to a couple people, to George and Sam on our GoFundMe page, donated, made some very nice donations to us, and we greatly appreciate that. I had filmed this a few minutes ago and I didn't upload it because I got kind of emotionally broke down. So I just wanted to say how much we really appreciate the help and that you two have given us, and appreciate anybody else that can help us out. We're dealing with a lot of medical issues, and we both have Lyme disease. My wife's got EDS, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. She's got POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. So she passes out a lot. She's got autodysautonomia or something like that. I don't know, where her body just doesn't regulate itself properly. So she passes out a lot, and then her heart rate within just a couple minutes will fluctuate from, like, it'll go weird. It'll be like 140, 150 or whatever it is, really high, over like 100 or 110, and then within a minute or two it'll drop down. It'll be like 100 over 60 or 70. It's just weird. Doctors don't really know why, so she's dealing with that. She's on a lot of medications, pretty much bedridden, gets out just for doctor's appointments. So I go out and do all the shopping and stuff, and I cook the meals and get her medications ready and everything. She does get out occasionally. Like, we went up to Phoenix to look at a truck the other day, and she took some medication that she can kind of use at her own discretion, so she could use a few extra here and there, but she only gets like 8 per month. And she doesn't like it taken because it makes her feel worse afterwards. But this goes on all the time, the traffic and the noise around here. So anyway, it's another reason why I want to move, so we could be out in a peaceful, quiet country, have less stress, and less heat stress, and less traffic stress, less noise stress. It's very wearing on both of us, and the drive up to Phoenix is just crazy. The traffic up there, Tucson's bad, but up there it was even worse. It was a 6-hour drive, a round trip, going up around there and talking with a guy, and he lives in Scottsdale. The truck was titled in Arkansas with a used dealer plate on it, and he bought it in California, and he had no records of any service or when the last oil change was or anything like that. Couldn't even tell me or prove that it could pass emissions or anything. He told me he had it registered in a different county outside of Scottsdale, so he didn't have to do emissions and stuff. So, he says, you could do that. And I'm like, no, I like to do things legally. And in New York, they have very strict emissions laws and stuff, and safety inspections to make sure people's vehicles are safe. So I just did a hard pass on that truck, but it was a wasted trip, no wasted gas, and really hard on my wife and I, who got older vehicles. So the AC works, but not as well as new vehicles. So the AC in their vehicle has a hard time keeping up with the heat out here. So anyway, our situation is we're still looking. Might have to just rent a truck from U-Haul or Budget or something, and just get everything ready to go so I can scramble the last day or two when we first get the truck, load it up, drive across country. We figured if we had our own truck, we could take our time. So if we got wiped out after 2 days of driving or something, we can spend, a couple days, a couple nights in one hotel and recuperate a little bit before we continued on the journey from Tucson to upstate New York. But if I get a U-Haul, I won't have the time to do that. And then on the other end, I'll only have a couple days to unload everything. So, but I need to get somewhere where I could have a shop, and we'll be living with my sister for a little while, helping her out. She's got a house up there, and her son had some health issues, so we want to help her out, live in her house for a number of months. We'll split between my wife and I and my little sister and her son. We'll split the utilities and mortgage payment 4 ways, so it'll help us all kind of get back on our feet a little bit. And then sometime in the next handful of months or early spring, Ginger and I will try to find a home, $120,000 or something that we can afford, and something with a shop or a little land, a few acres that I could build a shop on. And part of the reason why I need to do that is because my Social Security, I don't have a 401k or nothing, no pension or nothing. I always had low-paying jobs, so I don't have much of anything other than tools I accumulated over the years and some old vehicles I bought cheap and it fixed up to keep them running. So I need to keep my tools, because if I get up there I can make things and do things, and you know, and I want to share, be in a cooler environment where I can share all the training stuff I've learned over the years from different people and things I've learned myself that I just, because of, you know, just being creative. And I need to be somewhere where I can enjoy the outdoor environment more without overheating, because I got heat exhaustion a number of years ago, so now I have a real hard time with the heat. But just to show you things that I like to do and I want to make and try to sell, I made this. I call it a rock bell. You can Google mace bell, and it's kind of like this, but it's made out of wood, metal, and rock. It's sitting in my power rack. It's got a little pommel, stone I caged in here, and then wood. Cut the grooves with an angle grinder in the pipe and ball peen the rivets over here. And then I just bored out the rock and caged it with this metal, hammered it all, and twisted it. Everything was cold forged because I don't have a torch, actually acetylene torch or anything to do this with. And I built this whole thing. It's 27.5 pounds and 48 inches long. So you swing it around, you lift it, do leverage lifts, or you could just display it like, you know, artwork. But, and if you saw the motorcycle in the background, it's a DR650 2000 I bought a number of years ago, and I've been fixing that up slowly, and I hate to, but I'll have to sell it because we need the money. And something else I'm working on here, it's painted, but I got to clean it up and finish a few things, and I'm going to clear coat it, is this snake. Maybe you can see that, you can't quite tell, but a little rattle there on the other end. I kind of modeled it after a coontail rattlesnake, and basically all the cutouts in it and everything. It'll be part of my tire carrier on my old Jeep, and when you step on the brakes, it'll be the third brake light. The eyes will light up amber, the mouth, the body, and the rattles will light up red for the brake light. So I'll get that mounted, and then I'll try to sell my Jeep. And I got a half-ton extended cab 4x4 truck that we'll probably sell too. Get ourselves some kind of box truck, if at all possible. If not, we'll just have to rent one. And then on the other end, if we rent one, I'll probably have to buy a storage shed or a 20-foot shipping container to put our stuff in until we get our own place. But that's what we're doing. And sorry this video is so long. I just thought I'd explain some things and where we're at. And we're going to continue going, continue moving ahead. The plan is still to get out of here at the end of October. Don't know for sure how it's going to work out, but that's what we're hammering toward. So I got a ton of work I got to do. And I just want to thank anybody like George and Sam for their donations. It's really appreciated. We're eternally grateful for that. So if anybody can help out, you can share the GoFundMe page link. We really appreciate it. So thanks again. I know both my dogs, Tequila and Whiskey, say hello, and so does my wife, Ginger. You guys all have a great day, and I'll talk to you later.